It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about mandatory bathroom breaks for our kids, a strange late night inspection at Philly's first women's sports bar, and how to get hype about the World Cup. It's Friday, March 6th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club is CityCast Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Trenae.
Okay, in case you've missed it, CityCast just dropped a brand new podcast. It's called Your City Could Be Better, because it could be. Mm-hmm. Every week, our CEO, David Plotz, has been chatting with our colleagues from across 13 of the CityCast teams to talk about sort of the weird things in our cities, what our cities are trying to do, how we're growing, and just really how we're trying to succeed. And this week's episode will take us to Salt Lake, where a national think tank wants to institutionalize unhoused people. Your City Could Be Better has also featured conversations about how the anti-ICE movement in the Twin Cities mobilized so quickly, the backlash against data centers in Madison, and an unusual plan that's got dozens of new storefronts opening really quickly in downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think they're doing that in advance of the NFL draft, which is in Pittsburgh this year. Well, you know, what I love about the show is regardless of what city each episode is focusing on, we can relate to those issues and those challenges here in our city. It's so interesting, the parallel situations in cities across America. So people living in urban areas in the United States are dealing with very similar challenges, and how they're addressing those issues might be different and therefore really informative for people living elsewhere. Do we have anything in common with people in Salt Lake City? It turns out we do. I mean, data centers and then the ideas for handling the situation with homelessness, ICE. I mean, these are all issues that all cities are grappling with. So it's very cool that we have this new forum from CityCast to kind of untangle all that stuff.
So check out the episodes now on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's bring it back to Philly. Mm-hmm. This week, we talked about the school district and how it's reviewing its plans for this massive overhaul of its buildings, closing 18 schools, modernizing schools. We talked about that on Wednesday's episode. So as the school board reviews the plan, it's still under consideration. They have decided, though, on some other immediate changes to Philly public schools. They have passed the first ever wellness policy.
Yeah, and this might seem like a minor thing, especially when you're talking about like closing schools, which is the other big issue facing the school district. But wellness really affects the day-to-day lives of kids in a big way, in the way that they're describing wellness. So specifically, the school district approved these new rules that guarantee bathroom trips, water breaks, and recess. Kids will be required to get movement breaks for every 90 minutes of seated time.
Interesting.
And it's also banning what's called collective punishment, where a whole class can be penalized with like the loss of recess, or they have to be quiet during lunch if just a couple of students are being disruptive.
That's great,
yes.
Especially as the kid that like never got in trouble.
You were the kid that never got in trouble?
No, and then I would be so mad when like recess was ruined for everybody.
Oh, little Trenae's doing everything she's supposed to be doing and is sitting.
Absolutely.
It is something that my kids have long complained about. We had to be quiet at lunch because so-and-so did so-and-so. We didn't get recess. We got held back from recess for 15 minutes because, you know, this kid said this to the other kid. Yeah. So yes, this is certainly a phenomenon in the schools.
What's beautiful about this is that it came out of a campaign by a relatively new Black parent-led grassroots group called Lift Every Voice. They've been pushing the need to bring joy into our schools for kids.
Yeah, they've been raising concerns to the school district for years about the ways that the district policies hindered joy. And one of those things was just simply the fact that kids couldn't raise their hand and go to the bathroom whenever they wanted. There were stories of parents alleging that they had to send their kids to school in diapers because bathroom breaks weren't always allowed. Yes, this is what they testified through the years of the school district.
Oh my gosh.
So now they can go to the bathroom. Now they can go get water when they need. Now they can get their recess with even if somebody else, was being problematic in the classroom that day. The key here, though, of course, will be enforcement. Like, who's to stop a teacher who might do this once in a while? Will a principal look the other way once in a while? And then if it does happen, who will report it all the way up to the school district? My kids have complained about this, but I haven't necessarily, brought it up the chain.
What do you mean? Like your kid said, oh, like my teacher wouldn't let us go to the bathroom, or my teacher wouldn't let us like have recess because some other kid was like,
right. But I didn't call anybody or make a complaint. And now it's going to be,
you could,
right. And now it's going to be really incumbent on parents to do that, because if there's no enforcement, then the policy really won't have any teeth. And so the parents really need to, have the agency to contact the principal and, if necessary, the district. And then the people in charge will have to do something to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay. The other policy that the district passed is banning the half days.
My son screeched when he heard about this. He was pissed because we're talking about joy, right? I mean, do you remember the joy of getting out in a half day?
Getting out a half day, even like the 2-hour late starts is joyful because that your classes are like shorter.
Totally.
Gym class is shorter.
I can like feel in my bones the sensation of getting out at like noon on a spring day. Mm-hmm. And it feels like you have your whole world laid out before you.
Extra cartoons.
Yes.
Like I can get that snack that I wanted.
Oh man. So the district is killing joy and killing half days, but they're doing it. It makes sense.
Okay, why are they doing it?
The reasoning is sound. The attendance, the district says, just plummets on half days. Kids don't show up. Some parents, I heard, might take their kids on a vacation instead of going to school on a half day.
Well, that's joy.
Yeah, that is joy too. So it is just disruptive to learning in that there's so many kids not in school on these half days. It's disruptive to school schedules too. And this was for like professional development. Teachers would do like trainings in the afternoon.
Right.
So now they're just going to combine the half days into one full day, right? You take 2 half days on the calendar, you make one full day of school, and then the other day is a day off for the students, but the teachers come in for professional development. They're starting it in June. So school actually will end a day early because school was supposed to end with 2 half days. So public school in Philly will end on June 11th. And then next year there will be 0 half days all year long.
What are they going to do with like parent-teacher conferences?
That is a good question.
Because that's
those
the
are
reason
normally
why
scheduled in the half. That's one of the reasons for the half days.
Yeah.
This was not in the school district's message to parents.
Because I'm thinking like, okay, well, if there's a day off, usually it's like associated with a holiday, like a religious holiday, maybe.
It would have to be on one of these days off.
It would have to be.
Yes.
And then basically how my kids' schools does it is you pick a time slot where you come in to talk to the teacher. Or as the kids are getting older, they do student-led conferences.
Oh, whoa, what's that?
That's when they lead and talk about their school year, what they learned, what they need to work on. It's really great.
That seems like that's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens to the parent-teacher conferences?
Yeah, they must do those on the
off
full
days.
Off day, which actually gives some more flexibility because normally you really only have time to talk to the teacher in that like noon to 4 p.m. time slot.
Well, yeah, that's something to look into. Speaking of schools, one of our favorite fictional Philly public schools, Abbott Elementary, is going to be renewed for a 6th season.
6
on ABC.
That's amazing that it's been 6 seasons. It's really remarkable achievement. TV shows don't make it that long these days.
So this Emmy award-winning mockumentary about a group of teachers in the Philadelphia School District, created and starring Philly's own Quinta Brunson, who plays teacher Janine Teagues, is very popular. The Hollywood Reporter reported that the show is the top comedy on TV this season among adults 18 to 49, based on 7 days of multi-platform viewing, because you can watch Abbott on 6ABC Wednesday nights. You can watch it on Hulu whenever you want to. About 2.48 million people watch it in that age range. Listen, I've binged watched this series. I love catching it on Wednesday nights on 6ABC and watching it with the kids. But this week kind of felt boring. Now, the show had to pause. It went on like a little break because of the Winter Olympics on NBC. So we were excited to get back into our weekly routine of watching the show live. But for me, the show is starting to lose its edge
Getting
a little bit.
Stale, right?
Okay, so this is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't caught up to the latest season, close your ears. Because Janine and Gregory, both teachers, they're going steady.
Yeah.
They found love. They're now
so
dating.
You don't get any that like sexual romantic tension.
Even Principal Coleman's got a man.
Right,
the
which has
IT
kind of
guy
softened her up a little bit,
Yeah,
so
'cause
she's not as antagonistic.
She is,
but
she's going to be like that.
Yeah.
That's her core characters,
Right.
like traits. And then Miss Barbara Howard, played by Shirley Ralph, and teachers Jacob Hill, played by Chris Perfetti, and Miss Melissa Schmenti, played by Lisa Ann Walter. You know, they're just doing their normal level of quirky things in the school. And, you know, as they're trying to teach in this underfunded Philly school. So I'm hoping that season 6 brings some heat.
Listen, Quinta Brunson's a genius, and you have to trust that she, recognizes they might need to inject maybe a new character into the show, bring something new into the show. Because I agree, it's like we need a little something to get us through season 6.
We've got more news after the break.
Hi, I'm David Plotz. I'm the CEO of CityCast, a podcast network that includes this show you're listening to, and also 12 other CityCasts in 12 other cities. And each one knows their city as well as your local team knows yours. So isn't it time we connected them? Don't you want to know how they're tackling their bike lane problems and housing challenges and sidewalk dog poop crises? That's why I'm hosting a new podcast called Your City Could Be Better. Because it could be. Every week, I'll chat with a different host in our CityCast network about what their cities are doing right and wrong, the weird things they're trying, and the surprising successes, so that we can all learn how to make our cities a little bit better. Listen to Your City Could Be Better on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, man, I want to get into this other story. It's kind of bizarre. Siobhan Anderson, the founder and owner of Marsha's, the city's first bar centered on women's sports on South Street, Anderson posted a video statement saying the business was unfairly targeted by authorities after an anonymous complaint alleging that Marsha's was serving alcohol to underage customers, selling alcohol after permitted hours, and operating the business without proper licenses. 6ABC reports Philly police, authorities from the Department of Licenses and Inspections, and Pennsylvania State Police Liquor Control Enforcement all showed up to Marsha's on February 20th, shortly after 11:30 p.m. to do some sort of inspection. The inspection lasted for about 40 minutes and no violations were found.
That is, why are we inspecting bars late night like that?
In the video, Anderson says this is like the second anonymous complaint. And if you look at some of the footage of the inspection, it is pretty noticeable to see the amount of officers who showed up to do the inspection.
And there were no violations issued, right?
No violations were found.
And again, this is the first women's sports bar in the city.
It's been very popular.
Yes. And it just seems...
it hasn't even celebrated its first year yet. It seems odd that the response to these anonymous complaints took that many officers.
Yeah. I mean, I think it also, for Philadelphians of a certain age, it's reminiscent of the era in which Philadelphia police regularly raided gay bars in the city and scared
This would be
the
like
hell
what,
out
in the
of
like 60s?
and 70s. Yeah. In what might be called the Rizzo years, when Frank Rizzo was the police commissioner and later the mayor. And at the time, people will tell stories of the cops being very aggressive in what is now the Gayborhood in Rittenhouse Square, where there was a concentration of gay bars. I mean, the modern day civil rights movement for gay people in this country started with a police raid at the Stonewall Inn
in New York.
In New York City.
Yes. And remember, Marsha's is actually named after Marsha P. Johnson, an activist who resisted the police in the riots, in those Stonewall riots that followed. And now Marsha's that we're talking about here in Philly has LGBTQ ownership and clientele.
So I'm sure this has echoes for some gay people in Philadelphia. And I think that's probably what's particularly scary for some folks. And this wasn't a raid. It didn't look like in the video.
No.
I mean, the cops were kind of filing in, but still, it still feels a little bit unusual for 2026.
Marsha is still operating and they're still open. And you can listen back to our interview with Siobhan Anderson that we did back in August. All right, we'll be back after this break. The World Cup is less than 100 days away.
That's
wow.
Right. Yes.
We've been talking about this forever.
I know. They did a big rally this week in advance of it because the Philadelphia Soccer 2026 wants us to pick our fighters. They want us to pick our teams that we're going to root for in Philly this summer, because the USA is not playing in Philly at Lincoln Financial Field. They are not one of the 6 games that we're going to be hosting. So Philadelphia Soccer 2026 launched this campaign to basically teach us how to fan, PHAN. Okay, fine. How to fan for other countries.
Yes. Okay, so here's the schedule of games in Philly beginning in June. Ivory Coast goes against Ecuador. Brazil plays Haiti. France could play Bolivia, Iraq, or Suriname. Curacao is going to play Ivory Coast. And Croatia will go against Ghana.
And then on July 4th, the 250th birthday of the country, there's the round of 16. So this is like getting down to the finals. That will be hosted here. So we're going to be getting fans from all of these countries coming in to root for these teams. But if you have no connection to these nations, how do you decide who to root for? And that's why Philadelphia Soccer 2026 is trying to help you pick a team, give you resources for how to root for them, like the names of the star players, the customs that the fans for those countries have when it comes to like attending the games and rooting on their stars. Because, you know, soccer teams have their own like chants. They do their own like specific thing that's like a part of the soccer culture.
Yeah.
And then also be helpful once the teams are here and the supporters from those countries are here. You can like go to bars and party with these people from that country.
And get hype.
Yeah, you're going to know their chants. You're going to know the names of their players. So that's the whole idea, and I love it. So, Trenae, who are you going to root for? Who's your team in the World Cup?
This is tough. This is tough. Because I saw those player cards, and I was like, oh, hello, soccer.
You're just picking whoever has the most handsome team on the field. That's fair.
I'm
That's
rooting for
fair.
everyone. Like, I'm just there for the vibes.
Okay.
Who are you picking?
I'm into Curacao.
Okay.
It's a tiny country in the Caribbean. It feels like the most Philadelphia of all the countries involved.
Okay, why?
It's a total underdog story. It's the first time they've ever qualified for the World Cup. It's the smallest country to qualify. There's less than 200,000 people there. It's tiny. It's like, you know, a neighborhood in Philadelphia. And I love their blue kits. I think the kits is what they call the uniforms. And Philadelphia Soccer 2026, they like give you all these resources, and they told me that the song that they sing for Curacao is called Blue Wave. The Blue Wave. Let me just feel these beats for a moment there, Trenae, and then I think you're going to join us. And it builds. I'm gonna know all these words by June. I promise.
Do you know how to wind your hips?
No, I think I might be too old to do that.
No, you have to like let the music, like feel the music, and just let your body just go.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I might need to figure out what they drink in Curacao in order to make that happen.
Okay, so if you want more information, go to their Instagram page at FWC26Philly. Okay, weekend plans. This weekend is First Friday, so might be some events. Check out our newsletter. I am going to hang out with some friends. They're coming into town. I'm also going to an engagement party.
Oh, nice.
Love is in the air. And I'm reading Our Missing Hearts.
That's right.
This is the One Book, One Philadelphia, an annual book selection that the entire city is reading.
Yep.
Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng.
Yeah, and we're book clubbing it here at the show. The Free Library chose this book as the one that the whole city reads all at once over the coming months. I started it.
Same.
And it is beautifully written.
It's good.
There's a lot of metaphor, both in like the specific description of things, but also larger metaphor for what we are facing as a country and as Americans. It takes place in, it seems like the near future in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's quite dystopian. Things are not good in America.
No.
People are getting disappeared. There's a powerful government that codifies its version of culture by law. That's what we know so far in the book. And even though that's just what we know so far in the book, I already understand why the Free Library chose this. You spoke with Amir from the library a few weeks back, and he said there was no direct correlation between this selection, Our Missing Hearts, and Philadelphia in 2026, but he thought it would resonate with people, and he's absolutely right. There's no specific connection, but it's certainly resonant. It was impossible when this book starts describing people who are missing. It was impossible not to think about the people I know who have been picked up by ICE and deported extremely quickly before they even had a chance to hire a lawyer. And it's too soon, I think, in my reading to tell how much this book reflects our lived reality, but I already feel the connection, and looking forward to reading it and hearing what our listeners think and what other Philadelphians think about it.
Yeah, and I like that it's like we're having this shared experience. Like, oh my God, did you get to that part yet?
Yeah.
No, I'm not there yet. How far are you reading? And gets us talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Also talking about, like you just said, how does what we're living now relate to the book, not relate to the book? Some of the even like, did you notice like that they're calling this character this name? So a message to our listeners, if you are reading the book and have some thoughts or questions or criticisms, let us know what you think. Send us an email, philly@citycast.fm. We're talking about the book for the next several Fridays on the Friday News Roundup.
But now with me, Trenae, you will be talking about the book with Abby.
Yes, Abby Fritz, our senior producer.
I am taking some time off for 6 weeks. I'll be back with you on the Friday News Roundup and on the show in general in mid-April. So we'll have to talk offline about the book. Have a great time putting the show together with Abby and the team. I'll be listening. And I'm going to see you in the spring. When it's going to be nice out.
And you're probably going to see some new CityCast Philly neighbors.
Yes.
This is the part in the show, one of my favorite parts, where we get to shout out our new neighbors. So welcome, Jacob M. When you become a CityCast Philly neighbor, you get tons of perks, like a neighbor shout out on the show. I will shout out your favorite business or nonprofit. And we've got some events coming up. We had an event this week at the Filler Club with Mark Vetri.
It was awesome, and it was wonderful to see our neighbors there,
Yes.
and can't wait to meet our new neighbors in the coming months. Welcome, Jacob.
So if you want to join us and become a neighbor, head over to membership.citycast.fm. All right, Matt, I'll see you in April.
See you in April, Trenae.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our senior producer is Abby Fritz. Our newsletter editors are Siani Colon, Natalia Aldana, and Lizzie Goldsmith. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from all the kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes and this show, please share this with a friend. Also, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.